Hello, my friend. I'm glad you're here again. Before we begin, take a deep breath in, slow and steady, and let it out gently. Let the noise of the day fall back a little. Let your shoulders drop. You don't have to be anywhere else right now. Today's question is one that sits quietly inside most of us, even when we don't speak it out loud. Why do we sometimes feel lonely, even when we're surrounded by people who love us? It's strange, isn't it, to be in a room full of voices, laughter, conversation, to be included, maybe even hugged, and still feel that quiet distance pressing behind your ribs. It's not dramatic, it's not even obvious. It's just there, like a low hum that others can't hear. We often tell ourselves that love should be the cure for loneliness, that if we have good friends, a partner, family, people who care, then we should feel full, complete, safe. But loneliness doesn't always listen to logic. Sometimes it comes not from the absence of others, but from the absence of being understood. You can be loved deeply and still not feel known. You can have company and still feel unseen. That's the kind of loneliness that doesn't go away with a hug or a kind word. It's quieter, older, more complex. It lives in the space between who we are and who we show to the world. Most of us learn early how to be loved without being known. We learn what parts of ourselves are too much, what feelings should stay quiet, what truths make others uncomfortable. We start editing ourselves in small ways. A smile here, a quick "I'm fine" there, until love becomes something we perform instead of something we live inside. And when that happens, even love can feel like distance. Think about it. How often do we say, "I'm fine," when we're not? How often do we laugh when what we really want is to be held? How often do we keep talking when silence would be more honest? We tell ourselves it's easier this way. Easier to keep things light, easier not to burden anyone, easier to be the strong one. But every time we hide a truth, a small piece of connection fades. The people around us may still love us, but they're loving a version of us that's missing a few important pieces. And slowly, quietly, loneliness grows in that gap. It's not that the people around us don't care. Often they care deeply. They just can't meet us where we haven't let them. To be seen requires risk. The risk of being misunderstood, of being rejected, of being vulnerable. And so we keep our deeper thoughts tucked away like fragile glass, waiting for someone who knows how to hold them. But here's the paradox. To be known, we have to risk being seen. And that means showing the parts that aren't polished, the feelings that don't have clean edges. It's not easy. Vulnerability never is. But maybe it's the only real cure for loneliness. Not finding more people, but allowing the people already near us to actually see us. Still, loneliness doesn't always mean something is missing between us and others. Sometimes it points to a gap inside ourselves, a part of us we've neglected or outgrown. There's a kind of loneliness that has nothing to do with relationships. It comes when we lose touch with who we are beneath all the roles we play. Think about how much of your life is filled with noise, conversations, music, podcasts, messages, endless movement. The moment silence arrives, many of us reach for something to fill it. But silence is where we meet ourselves, and when we avoid it long enough, we begin to feel lonely, not because the world is empty, but because we've become strangers to our own company. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Being alone can be peaceful, restorative. It gives the heart room to breathe. But loneliness feels like standing at a window, watching life move on without you. It's a kind of spiritual homesickness, the sense that you're not quite where you belong, even if you can't say why. The strange thing is that loneliness isn't always bad. It's uncomfortable, yes, but sometimes it's trying to show us something. It's the heart's way of saying, you've gone too long without being honest with yourself. Or, there's a truth you're ignoring, or even, it's time to grow. Maybe loneliness isn't the absence of love, but the call to return to presence, to ourselves, to what matters, to the kind of connection that goes deeper than small talk and shared photos. I once met an old man who told me that he used to feel lonely all the time, even when he was with his family. He said it took him years to realize that he was waiting for other people to understand him, when he had never tried to understand himself. So he started walking alone each evening, without his phone, without music, just walking. At first it felt unbearable, he said, but slowly the silence started to speak back. It told him what he really needed. It showed him where he'd been pretending, and one day he realized the loneliness had softened. It hadn't disappeared, but it had changed shape. It had become something closer to peace. That's the quiet transformation of loneliness, when you stop fighting it and start listening to it. Maybe loneliness wants to teach us how to sit in stillness without running. Maybe it's showing us how to become our own friend again. Maybe it's reminding us that everyone else we meet, even the ones who seem confident, content, connected, also carries their own quiet ache. When we understand that, compassion grows. We start to see that the line between connection and loneliness isn't as wide as it seems. Everyone is looking for the same thing, a safe place to be seen. If you've ever looked across a table and thought, they don't really know me, you're not alone. If you've ever smiled while feeling hollow inside, you're not broken. You're human, and that ache you feel is simply the reminder that you were built for depth. So maybe the next time loneliness arrives, that strange, familiar guest, don't rush to push it away. Pour it a cup of tea. Ask what it's here to tell you. Is it asking you to reach out? Is it asking you to rest? Is it asking you to finally speak the truth you've been holding in your chest? Listen closely. Loneliness is never just silence. There's always a message under the ache. And when you've heard it, take a breath and remember this. You are already part of something vast. You are part of every other soul who has ever sat awake in the night, wondering why love sometimes feels so far away. You are part of a shared human story. The endless search to be known, to belong, to understand, and be understood. You don't have to fix it tonight. You don't have to fill every quiet space. Just let yourself exist inside the moment without resistance. The heart will find its own way back to warmth when you stop demanding that it hurry. So breathe again, deeply, fully. Feel how the air moves through you. Feel the smallness of the moment and the bigness of being alive. Somewhere, someone else is breathing with you, carrying the same quiet ache. Maybe that's connection enough for now. Loneliness is not proof that you are unloved. It's proof that you are still open, that you still long for what's real, and that longing, that beautiful ache, is the very thing that keeps your heart human. Thank you for being here, for giving yourself this moment to reflect. Stay gentle, stay curious, and stay kind. And if this question spoke to you, continue your journey with us on Yarvin's Questions. More stories, more reflections, and more quiet truths are waiting for you. Take care, my friend. Until next time.